Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 79 of the best sports show out. You watching Highly Opinionated. I'm your co-host, Josh. Ladies and gentlemen, working with the best co-host in the game. What's up, JG? How you doing, my brother?
Ross, JD, what's going on with y'all, bro? How y'all feeling?
We are blessed, man. Can't complain at all. Everything good with you, brother?
Another day in the city, my friend. Another day in the city.
I hear that. Ladies and gentlemen, the most important guy here on Highly Opinionated, the guy that makes us look good with no makeup. What's up, Ross? How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How you feeling, Josh?
I am good, brother. Can't complain at all. Everything good with you?
Yeah, no, I can't complain. We got some nice weather out here. We waited all year. We got the playoffs with a play-in about to start, so I can't complain.
Yeah, it's a great time for a sports fan. We got NBA, NHL playoffs coming, MLB season kicking off in full effect. So it's a great time to be a sports fan. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you guys for watching episode 78. We appreciate all the love and support with that episode. If you haven't catch that episode, check that episode out. We had Keith, the correspondent, on, and we had C. Perry II from Nothing But Net, a show that you can catch on the Sideline Junkie podcast every Wednesday night at 7:30. Appreciate those guys for their time. And JG, we got a great episode in store for you guys this week. We can't wait to unveil the episode to you. Before we do that, Ross, let them know where they can follow us on our social medias.
Yes, sir. Y'all can follow us on Instagram at highly opinionated __. Follow us on TikTok at highly opinionated _SS. Follow us on Twitter or X at highly O_SS. Of course, y'all already on YouTube, so make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
Absolutely. We love all the feedback. We love all the comments. We love all the interactions. You guys make Highly Opinionated what it is. Point blank, simple. You guys make the show what it is. So we appreciate it, and we look forward to engaging. If you love sports, you have a passion for sports, you have anything going on in the world, this is the place you want to be. JG, my guy, you ready to get episode 79 started?
Yes, sir. Let's work.
Let's start off with the Masters. Congratulations to Rory Mcllroy on winning the Masters. He won the Masters by one shot of a score of -12. He defeated Scotty Scheffler, who was -11, and you had four guys tied at -10. Russell Hanley, -10. Cameron Young, -10. Terrell Hatton, -10. And Justin Rose, -10. JG, your quick thoughts on Rory Mcllroy winning his second Masters tournament in a row.
Was impressed about Rory. I got a chance to catch the later rounds of the Masters. I saw for a while it looked like Rory had a substantial lead as far as strokes. I believe he was up 4 strokes on Cam Young. But then you started to see Rory start to have a bogey there, a double bogey here. Next thing you know, the lead started dwindling little by little. Next thing you know, Cam Young actually took the lead for a little bit. So I thought, oh, here we go. Rory McIlroy is going to have another, letdown. Have had a large lead and ended up giving that up. But he responded, came back, and when rounds were counted. My guy, Scotty Scheffler, the guy who I picked to win the Masters, he was making his run, going into that last round, and it came close. But Rory made just enough plays to win the Masters. So congratulations to him. He is one of, I believe, 4 players in the history of the Masters to win back-to-back, the first since 2001, 2002, Mr. Tiger Woods. So congrats to him.
Yes, he is. Congratulations to Roy. He is the 4th golfer to win back-to-back Masters. He is on the list with Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo, Tiger Woods, and the aforementioned Rory McIlroy. He, as you say, he had a big shot lead after the second round, and then his play started to bring him back to the pack. Guys like Scotty Scheffler, guys like Justin Rose, guys like Hatton, etc., Young, Morawaka, even guys like that started to, they started to play better. His play started to, decrease. It started to bring the scoreboard, scores closer. But Roy was technically, if you watched the tournament the whole weekend, I didn't watch it the whole weekend, but I watched from Friday to Sunday. He was the best player. He had the biggest lead, again, like I said, Friday, and then his play started to decrease a little bit. But when he won that first Masters last year, he learned the course, and he learned how to pace himself there. So even if he has a big lead like he did and his play starts to decrease, him winning that, him being on that field, him having that green jacket, it alleviates all the pressure. Now it's no pressure because you've already done it. And we saw that this weekend. So congratulations to Rory McIlroy on winning his second straight Masters tournament. JG, it's that time. The best segment in sports. JG, this week's edition of Let's Talk About It. It's time to hand out our NBA awards. The NBA season is over. It's time to hand out some hardware. We'll give out all the major awards to players that we feel, should receive that hardware. You guys see MVP, Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, Most Improved Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year. So JG, let's start off with the Coach of the Year. Who gets John Graham's vote for Coach of the Year?
Detroit head coach JB Bickerstaff gets my nod for Coach of the Year. Tremendous job the entire season. You see how this Detroit Pistons team has looked. I thought that they would tail off when Kay Cunningham got injured. They just continue to dominate. This guy Jenkins comes out of nowhere. I don't know anything about him, but he comes in and just starts filling up the stat sheet, and it looks like they don't miss Cade at all. Jalen Duren has played much better, even in Kay Cunningham's absence. They just continue to be done to stabilize. Like when you lose, typically when you lose your best player, you're going to start to not. You're not going to look the same. You're going to start to tail off. That slim lead they had over Boston and New York. I thought they would drop down to third or fourth, in my opinion. But again, that's just a testament to the coaching staff of Detroit, led by JB Bickerstaff. And Detroit's been consistently the best team in the Eastern Conference all year long. With that, I don't believe there's anyone else that deserves more consideration in my book than JB Bickerstaff. Now, I will say, I do want to give some love to Jordan Ott, the head coach for the Phoenix Suns. This guy. I thought the Phoenix Suns were picking in the lottery. I didn't think they would even touch the play-in, let alone be in it. But they have, if anyone has exceeded more expectations for the season, it was the Phoenix Suns. And again, it's testament to Phoenix coaching staff keeping these guys together. I felt bad for Devin Booker going into this season. I thought, hey, let's get this guy out of here, get him with a legit team that can compete in the playoffs and get him going. Devin Booker decided to stay, and Dylan Brooks, of all people, had a pretty damn good season. I think he's still having a really good season. Kyle Gillespie, guys like that. Jalen Green has played pretty well. We talked about how this guy was traded, for Kevin Durant, and your famous quote for Scooby Snacks. This guy's played pretty decent. And the Phoenix Suns team found themselves number 7 in the play-in. They got, I believe they're playing tonight, if not tomorrow. But yeah, this is shout out to Jordan Ott and this Phoenix coaching staff. They played well.
So you picked JB Bickerstaff from the Detroit Pistons.
Yes.
So let me I want to give a couple coaches shout outs before I say who I think should win the award. As you said, the aforementioned Jordan Ott. I'm going to show some love to Tiago Splitter. The Portland Trailblazers are in the 8th seed. They're 42-40. Tiago Splitter is not the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers. That's Chauncey Billups. We obviously all remember him being arrested, part of the gambling ring with the FBI. But I didn't think Portland. I thought Portland would be fighting for the play-in. I didn't think they would be in the play-in. So show some love to Tiago Splitter. In the East, let's show some love to the Atlanta coach, Quinn Snyder. The Hawks they were under 500. They're 46-36. They're firmly in the playoffs. They're the 6th seed. They played the 3 seed New York Knicks in the first round. Let's give him some love. They traded Trey Young. They traded him for CJ McCollum, and the young guys have improved. Look at Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson's taken that step for them to feel great and feel good enough to trade Trey Young. Charles Lee, the Charlotte Hornets head coach. Charlotte was terrible last season. They have a record of 44-38. They play in the NBA play-in tournament against the Miami Heat Tuesday night. So let's give him some love as well. And the last coach, before I give who I say should get some love, Joe Mazzulla. I thought the Boston Celtics, they should have been tanking. Jason Tatum wasn't playing. We thought he wasn't going to play the whole season. Obviously, he did come back and started playing later in the season. But the Celtics are 56-26. If you put the Celtics in the Western Conference, they would be the 3 seed. They would be behind OKC and San Antonio. So that shows you how great Boston has been all season long. As far as who I think should win Coach of the Year, I'm agreeing with you. I think it should be JB Bickerstaff. We are in agreement. Number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Cade Cunningham has missed time. Jalen Duren has missed time. Tobias Harris has missed time. He's developed players, like you said. with Jenkins. Duncan Robinson has a role on the team. Let me see. Denise Jenkins, that's the guy's name. So Karis LeVert, Paul Reed, Isaiah Stewart, Asar Thompson is playing well. Should be in my opinion, should be in the mention for all defensive team, first or second team. So
Kevin Huerter.
So I love what JB Bickerstaff has done. The Pistons were the 6th seed last season. They've elevated from the 6th seed to the 1 seed. So he gets our vote for Coach of the Year. The next award we're going to pick Most Improved Player. I'll start us off with this one. For me, this is a 3-man race. Denny Agava, if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, Denny Agava from the Portland Trailblazers. And we have 2 Atlanta Hawks, Jalen Johnson and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. For me, my vote goes to Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Last season, he averaged 9.4 points per game, 3.2 rebounds per game, 2.7 assists per game, and shot 43.8% from the field, 38.1 from the three-point line. This season, he's averaging 21 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, 3.7 assists. He's shooting 46% from the field and shooting 40% from the three-point line. I think Nickeil Alexander-Walker has taken the necessary leaps and bounds. You can make a case he's the Hawks' second best player on the team this season behind Jalen Johnson. So for me, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, slightly above Jalen Johnson. If you go look at the awards, my predictions before the season, I had Jalen Johnson winning the Most Improved Player of the Year. I thought he would take this leap because he has the abilities. He's 6'9", he's tall, he's lengthy. He can basically do it all on the basketball court. Obviously, he has some improvement to do. But I thought Nickeil Alexander-Walker made slightly more improvement than Jalen Johnson. So for me, Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
I got Nickeil Alexander-Walker for another award here. But for my most improved, got to go with Denny. His second half surge last year, a lot of people were starting to pay attention to that, and the Blazers as a whole. In the second half of last year, he averaged 23 points, almost 10 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. He's picked up in all 3 of those categories this season. So to me, and again, you talk about Thiago Splitter and the job he's done in Chauncey Billups' absence. Blazers aren't going anywhere or look anything like what they look like without Denny. He became an all-star this year, if I'm not mistaken. He's really he's taken the Blazers' number 1 role by the horns. It's going to be really interesting to see how he looks once Damian Lillard comes back. Remember that guy? Once Damian Lillard comes back, we'll see how that looks. With the Portland Trailblazers going forward. Does Denny take a step back for Damian Lillard, or are they able to be cohesive here? That'd be something to look forward down the road. But this season's been very stellar for Denny. I think he deserves most improved player for this year. I hear you on Jalen Johnson. I mean, the Atlanta Hawks, again, feeling comfortable to trade away Trae Young, Kristaps Porzingis, because this guy's made such a leap. It would be I wouldn't be mad if anyone if they casted a vote for him as well. But for me personally, I got to go with Denny.
So you like Denny Agava for most improved. I like Nickeil Alexander-Walker. The third award that we're going to pick is the Rookie of the Year. Highly debated award. 2-man race between Cooper Flagg and Con Knueppel. So who gets JG's vote for Rookie of the Year?
It's been talked about all season long. It's a little bit of controversy here. I just still think it's Cooper Flagg. He's been breaking records all season long. He's the reason why the Dallas Mavericks are even still have televised games. Let's be honest. If he wasn't playing, Mavericks would not be on TV. A lot of people wouldn't be watching him unless you live in Dallas. The future is bright for Dallas and Cooper Flagg. I think that just when you think about Conklin has been spectacular. I mean, the Charlotte Hornets, the fact that they're in the play-in, they've been playing so much better. Coaching staff's been great. LaMelo Ball's been great. But Con Knueppel has really been that stabilizer and that young leader for that locker room. And that the energy is different with Charlotte. It's last year it felt like it was just a bunch of guys just playing basketball, playing street ball. They didn't really care, about wins and losses. It seemed like the attitude wasn't really there. The structure wasn't really there. But when Con Knueppel came in, I saw a totally different Charlotte Hornets team. So I understand. And obviously he's been available. He hasn't missed as many games as Cooper Flagg. But I just think that Cooper Flag has just been special when he's out there, and he just continues to rewrite the history books. Once from LeBron James when he was a teenager, but you see a lot of similarities there. Just small forward, but at times he's playing point guard. He's shooting the ball really well from three. He's posting up. He's doing everything that you can possibly need from one guy to try to stabilize a basketball team. And they're obviously nowhere near who they're going to be right now because of how many guys are out, including Kyrie Irving. So that's going to be interesting to see when he comes back. But I can't. It's close. I understand if Concanova gets some votes. I wouldn't be mad at that, like I said about the MVP, but I got to give it to Cooper Flag.
I agree. I think Cooper Flag is the rookie of the year. He averages 21.2 points per game, 6.7 rebounds, 4.6 assists per game, shooting 47% from the field. He's the youngest player ever in the NBA to score 50 points in the game. Like you said, he is the only reason why the Dallas Mavericks have any source of relevancy in the basketball landscape right now because of injuries, the trade that they made, et cetera, trying to get a good pick this season in the draft lottery, which, by the way, which is one of the biggest NBA draft lotteries, I think, in history. We'll talk about that as it progresses, as we get closer to it. But for me, I think it's Cooper Flag. Concanava's having a great season, but Charlotte's having a great season. But let's also talk about the development, and this is not taking away from him. It's going to sound like I am, but I'm not. Brandon Miller has taken a step up. LaMelo Ball has taken a step up. Miles Bridges, they traded for Kobe White. So they have some, good pieces, especially in the East, to win some games. So I don't think it's obviously they're going to try to put it on Concanava because he just got there and they went from being terrible to being respectable this season. But I think the team as a collective made improvements. Obviously, Knipple brought his abilities to the team. Charles Lee has improved from being a first-year coach to I think this is his third season as a Charlotte Hornets head coach. So everyone around him has improved. Dallas has nothing, like we said. So for me, I think Cooper Flag's the better player, and I think Cooper Flag should win the Rookie of the Year. JG, our next award that we're going to go over, Six Man. I'll start us off with this one. I think the six man, my vote, who should get six man, Kelton Johnson from the San Antonio Spurs. He averages 13.1 points per game, 5.4 rebounds, basically 1 assist per game, shooting 52% from the field and shooting 36% from the three-point line. Kelton Johnson, simply put, he's not the best player on the Spurs, but he's the heart and soul of the team. He's the longest tenured Spurs, been there 7 years. He comes in, he'll come in and fill any role you need him to play. You need him to play defense, need him to come in and score, need him to come in and defend, whatever you need. Come in and pass, come in and lead, come in and be vocal. He does that. Like I said, he's the bet on the team. He's been there 7 years. San Antonio Spurs have the number 2 seed in the West. So for me, I think he slightly nudges out Naz Reid for six man of the year. Give me Kelton Johnson.
It's not a bad pick at all. I'm going with Nikhil Alexander Walker from the Atlanta Hawks. This guy has filled when Trae Young was injured before it was entertained that he would be traded. Nikhil Alexander Walker was filling in the starting role for Trae Young, and the Hawks looked better. And everyone was like, wait a minute here. So what do you think maybe the Hawks are better off without Trae Young? Should they consider trading him? And at first I was like, maybe not. But then I looked again, I was like, that's not a bad idea at all. And a lot of that was because of Nikhil Alexander Walker. Averaging a career high 20 points on this season. He actually, and it's funny, he might actually play his way out of being eligible for six man of the year because he's good enough to be a starter, like a consistent starter. And that'll be interesting how they play that out. But the Hawks, yes, Jalen Johnson is a big reason why you feel comfortable about that. But Nikhil Alexander Walker coming from Minnesota, the stabilizer that he was on that side of the ball, especially for Minnesota defensively, like. Not only is Nikhil Alexander Walker proven to be a good scorer, he's proven to be a very effective on-ball defender, which is crucial for teams that are looking to make pushes in the playoffs. So he's been a stabilizer on both sides. So you had him with Dyson Daniels, a former defensive player of the year, and then Jalen Johnson on the wing to provide that much more length. Atlanta becomes a very good defensive team, and if you were going to do anything in the playoffs, you have to be a good defensive team. You can score with the best of them, but if you don't play defense, you're not going to win. Hello, Los Angeles Lakers. You got to play defense. But if I was to cast a vote, I would give it to Nikhil Alexander Walker for sure.
So you like Nikhil Alexander Walker for six man? Is he going to be eligible for that? Because didn't he start how many games has he started?
I know that remains to be seen. Like I said, he started a lot of games for Trae Young when he was injured. for most of the season. So once they figured out the lineup, he went back to the bench for a while. So it'll just depend on how many games he started. He is still eligible, as I know of right now, for the 6-man.
He started 71 games. So he probably won't get that. Just because he started 71. He played 80. He played 78 and started 71.
He's still the co-betting favorite for 6-man of the year. That's why I think it's funny, even though he started that many games.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. That is insane. Wow. Well, I mean, listen, he deserves something. I mean, he's definitely balled out this season, whether it's 6-man or most improved. So should be very interesting. Nickeil Alexander-Walker should definitely be walking away with some type of trophy. JG, our next award that we're gonna pick, Clutch Player of the Year. You start us off. Who gets your Clutch Player of the Year?
SGA. I mean, the guy has not. Dare I say he looks better than his MVP season last year, which is even crazy to see because he missed a ton of games, as we know. But when he's out there, there's no question in my mind like there's not a more clutch player in the NBA right now. He gives you that Kobe Bryant feel. He gives you that AI feel late in the game. Like, hey, give me the ball, get out of my way, let me get a bucket, let me make it look easy. I mean, I don't have a ton to say about this, but I never thought second for anybody really than SGA. Now I know he's up for the MVP and all that, but if he doesn't get MVP, he better at least get Clutch Player of the Year because he's not falling off from what we've seen last year. And look, he's the reason why Oklahoma City looks like they're on track to go back to the finals. I don't think they will, but if they do, it will be because SGA's late game heroics.
I'm looking forward to see who you think comes out of the West.
All right.
Not Oklahoma City. We'll definitely get to that at some point in time. Not this episode, definitely episode 80. I agree. SGA. Simply put, he leads the NBA in total points scored in clutch situations. So we know how this works. Like you're not going to give a player the Clutch Player Award because he plays great defense in the last 5 minutes of the game. It's about putting the ball in the basket. We get that. He's been the best clutch player all season. Oklahoma City is 64-18. He's been arguably a top 2, top 3 player this season. When I mean arguably, you can have him at 1, 2, or 3 this NBA season. So for me, SGA, we're in agreement. He wins the Clutch Player of the Year. Our next award, Defensive Player of the Year. This should be unanimous. This should be literally 100-0. There's no disrespect to the other great defensive players in the NBA, Bam Adebayo, Chet Holmgren. We have great defensive guards. The Defensive Player of the Year is Victor Wembanyama. He changes the trajectory of how you play basketball. I could give you the blocks numbers, the steals numbers, etc. Just watch him play. You know what? I got a number for you. The last night of the regular season, the San Antonio Spurs had a chance to make the Denver Nuggets the 4 seed. All they had to do was to beat the Nuggets. They didn't beat the Nuggets. That's fine. That's enough subject for another day. Victor Wembanyama did not play in that game. The Denver Nuggets, with their backups, scored 128. So, for me, I think if you watch the games, you see there's clearly one defensive player. There's clearly a defensive player that's ranked and plays better than the rest. That would be Victor Wembanyama.
The alien, I agree with you. He also gets Defensive Player of the Year in my book as well. 3.1 blocks per game this season, along with a defensive rating of 101. That's the greatest rating in NBA history.
Oh,
I don't know how much more you need. With all the great defenders that have come through this game, both big and small, he has the greatest defensive rating in NBA history. The way that he changes the ways you run offenses, the way that he makes players think twice. Well, not just the shots you take, but the passes you make. We've had this conversation before. There are plays that you don't want to run when he's out there because you think even when you think it's there, you're going to think twice because of this not human-like length that he has. The way that he can just change shots and passes and anything. Guys are standing at the 3-point line wide open in the corner. They're still pump faking when Wembanyama's in the paint because they don't know if they can get the shot off in time because of how crazy this guy can recover to long shots. And he plays so hard, it's like it's very possible he can get from the paint to a corner shot that quickly. Because this guy, I mean, this guy plays hard on both ends of the floor, but his defensive effort is just tremendous. And when you have that motor and effort along with the skill set, I don't know what you do here. So to me, it's unanimous. There shouldn't be a second nod for anybody. Again, no disrespect to Chet Holmgren. No disrespect to Bam Adebayo. SGA, who I think should get some Defensive Player of the Year consideration as well, because he's one of the better defenders in the league as well that we don't talk about. But Wemby just changes so much on the floor from a schematic standpoint and just a player's psyche. And at the end of the day, that's what you want as a defender. You're not going to be able to block every shot, but your job as a defender is to make life difficult for your opponent. And he does that for all 5 guys on the floor, not just his guy, everyone.
Yeah, I think he's the single greatest defensive nightmare you can't plan for. Like I don't think you can you don't have brooms tall enough. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have nothing to swing tall enough for that. So he makes the other players around him better. The Stephon Castles, the Calvin Johnsons. He makes Mitch Johnson a better coach. Shout out to Mitch Johnson. I didn't mention that. He should get Mitch Johnson should get some consideration for Coach of the Year as well. Go ahead.
My bad for cutting you off, but it's like if you're Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox, Johnson, all these guys, you can press up and be so aggressive as a defender that you almost don't care if you get blown by. You don't care because you know that this guy's going to at least change the shot. It's not going to be an easy shot they're going to get, even if the defender gets blown by. So you can be ultra aggressive. So when you have that kind of comfort as a defender on the ball, it makes that team tough to stop and tough to score on.
We definitely agree on that. San Antonio has a bright future with Victor Wembanyama. He gets our vote for Defensive Player of the Year. The last award that we're going to pick is the I shouldn't say most important because every award is important, but the award that, validates who you are. NBA MVP. The NBA MVP candidates to me, before I let you go, before you give out your award. Now, Luka Doncic is not in it because he didn't he didn't play the 65-game minimum. Anthony Edwards is not in it, 65-game minimum. So to me, the 4 leading candidates, Jaylen Brown from the Boston Celtics, Victor Wembanyama from the San Antonio Spurs, Nikola Jokic from the Denver Nuggets, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from the Oklahoma City Thunder. So JG, who gets your vote for the NBA MVP?
So I think what will actually happen, I think SGA will win it, but my vote, I got the alien again.
Wow.
I mean, what do you need to win the game on both ends of the floor? He's done everything.
Wow.
What are the San Antonio Spurs without him? We watched the Thunder be able to stabilize themselves and win games without SGA when he was injured. You can argue that Oklahoma City really didn't miss that much of a step without SGA. As great as he is, in no way am I implying that Oklahoma City can do anything without SGA as far as winning a championship. But you talk about the Spurs team. Yeah, you saw them coming this year. You thought that they would be a very good team, a much improved team from last season, but you didn't see the San Antonio Spurs being a top 2 seed in the West. And having, in my opinion, a legit chance to knock off the Oklahoma City Thunder in the playoffs, that they were to meet in the Western Conference Finals. That's all because of Victor Wembanyama. Everything I just mentioned about him being Defensive Player of the Year applies to the MVP. Not only can he change the game defensively in ways that we've never seen before, what the hell are you going to do with him offensively? He can shoot the 3, so you can't back off of him. He can shoot the 3. If you want to, go for his pump fake, and I don't know why you would, but he can pump fake, one dribble, pull up, step back, pull up. And by the way, he's 7'8", so he can drive to the basket, and you're not going to do anything but foul him because you can't block his shot. What are you going to do? So it doesn't happen very often, but I got Wembanyama winning both Defensive Player of the Year and MVP. If I had a vote, that's what I would pick.
Wow. That's very, very interesting. I can't argue with that. Let me say it like this. I can't argue with that. I disagree, but I can't argue with that. Like Wemby, the Spurs won 30 games. We won 30-some games last year. They have 60. They won 62 games this year. Like, as much as Dylan Harper's been great, Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox, we know the main ingredient for the San Antonio Spurs' success, and that's Victor Wembanyama. For me, I've been consistent on the show since it was getting when we took over when we started doing basketball coverage. I think the number 1 seed in the West was going to get the MVP in this Oklahoma City. So I'm giving my MVP to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He averages 31.1 points per game, 4.3 rebounds, 6.6 assists, shooting a crazy 55% from the field. He played in 68 games. I think what's underrated about Shai, in my opinion, he's a great player, underrated defender, as you said. He just plays with the guys that he plays with. Chet Holmgren has missed time. The second best player on the Oklahoma City Thunder has missed damn near half the season. That's J-Dub, Jalen Williams. So for him to have for Shai to have the Thunder in position to be the number one seed again, I know he's missed time, and I know you said that we're not saying they look better with Oklahoma City, but they look. I mean, not shit. We're not saying they look better without Shai. Hell no, they need him. He's an MVP, Finals MVP. But you can see Mark Daigneault has a system, and guys just come in, play that system, play that role when they play good team basketball. Shai is just over the top because Shai follows the system, but he can also be a system, if that makes sense. So for me, I'm giving it to SGA. Again, didn't have his second best player, third best players missed some time. I know Chet Holmgren's had the all-star season, but without SGA for a full ride, full consistent season, Oklahoma City probably would be play-in bound. You feel me? I know you can say about every team, take Jokic away, take Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Wemby. We get that. But for me, he's been the best player all season. So I'm giving it to SGA. Your point about Victor Wembanyama winning the Defensive Player of the Year and MVP, I'm on that watch starting next season. I think next season he can win because Defensive Player of the Year is basically, I think that's as long as he plays a certain amount of games, that's foreshadowed. The MVP is always going to be a debate whether you want this guy or that guy. I think next season starts that watch. But this season, SGA is the MVP. So, brother, we went through all 7 awards. And we agree on Clutch Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year. So we agree on 4. MVP, I had SGA. You had Victor Wembanyama. 6th man, I had Calvin Johnson. You had Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And most improved, I had Nickeil Alexander-Walker. You had Denny Agaba from the Portland Trail Blazers. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Highly Opinionated. We're going to take a quick break. We will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is sponsored by Wolves of War. In some of the episodes, you can see my co-host and Ross wearing a brand called Wolves of War. Wolves of War is our first sponsor, ladies and gentlemen, and we are so thankful to have those guys sponsoring Highly Opinionated. Thank you very much. The actual meaning of Wolves of War is that it represents having a strong path behind you through the battles of life. With the right people behind you, you can get through anything. You guys see the link for Wolves of War? Make sure you guys click on the link, shop, great apparels, t-shirts, sweatsuits, whatever you want, they have. Once again, Wolves of War. Make sure you guys go shop. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Highly Opinionated. JG, let's wrap up the show. The NBA Play-In Tournament is here. You got 2 games on Tuesday night, 2 games on Wednesday night. Let's start with Let's start in chronological order. Games on Tuesday night. The Miami Heat travel to Charlotte to take on the Charlotte Hornets. 7:30 on Amazon Prime. The Portland Trail Blazers. Following that at 10 o'clock, the Portland Trail Blazers travel to Phoenix to take on the Phoenix Suns. That game is at 10 o'clock on Amazon Prime. All NBA play-in tournament games will be on Amazon Prime. 2 games on Wednesday, 2 games on Tuesday, 2 games on Wednesday, 2 games on Friday. So, Jay, let's start with the elimination game, the 9-10 game. The Miami Heat and the Charlotte Hornets. Who you got?
Charlotte Hornets, I've been high on them since the All-Star break. I think the guard play of Knipple, Miller, Bridges, Kobe White, LaMelo Ball, I think it's going to be too much for Miami to handle. They're not a very good team when it comes to defending the 3-point range. Charlotte Hornets, they want to fire from 3. LaMelo Ball, I believe he had the second most made 3-pointers this season. I just think that they're going to put on an absolute show in Charlotte. It's one of the more exciting games that the Charlotte franchise has had in a while. And I think that these guys are going to respond to the challenge. They've been playing, like I said, really good basketball. They're favored by 5.5 here. I think Charlotte will win in a close fashion because I got to give Coach Spoelstra the benefit of the doubt that he's going to coach his ass off and make this a really competitive game. I got a lot of respect for Bam Adebayo and this Miami Heat team. I think they will fight and make it close, but I think Charlotte in the end will be too much for them to handle.
I hope what I'm about to say I'm wrong because I really want to see. I really want to see Charlotte as an 8th seed to play Detroit. We've seen them tussle all throughout the season, including that fight early in the season. Something telling me, man. I think Miami gonna take this game, man. Miami got all the veteran leadership. I know it's been an up and down season, but you got Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, Davion Mitchell, my guy Norman Powell, Khalil Ware, Andrew Wiggins, and you got Eric Spoelstra. So in the winner take all game, I know we always talk about players in the winner take all game, but Charlotte just does too much stupid stuff. They'll LaMelo will throw a pass behind his head and go out of bounds and stuff like that. And in these key moments, you can lose a game like that. So for me, I'm gonna take the Miami Heat. I think they go to Charlotte and find a way to get a win and advance that season to Friday night. Give me Miami. Next game we're going to preview. Following that on Amazon Prime, as I mentioned, the Portland Trailblazers, the 7-8 game in the West, the Portland Trailblazers and the Phoenix Suns. The winner of this game is the 7th seed in the Western Conference, and they will take on the San Antonio Spurs in the first round. The loser of this game will have to play Friday night, and they will take on the winner of the game on Wednesday between the Golden State Warriors and the Los Angeles Clippers. So I'll start us off with this one. Portland and Phoenix. Phoenix is favored by 2.5. I think Phoenix is the better team. I definitely think they're the better team. You got Jalen Green, Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks. So I'm going to take the Phoenix Suns at home with Coach Jordan. Give me the Suns. I think the Suns beat the Trailblazers.
I'm with you too. I take the Suns at home. If this game was in Portland, I would feel differently. But like I said, I think the Suns they play really well at home. I'm betting on. I'm never betting against Devin Booker in an elimination battle. Love what I've been seeing from Denny all season long. Again, I think he deserves Most Improved Player of the Year. Thiago Splitters have done a really good job in filling in for Chauncey Billups, but I just think that this is the Phoenix Suns game to be had, especially since it's at home. I think collectively they're a better team, and I think they will show that in not dominant fashion, but it'll be a relatively like a comfortable lead to win the game for them, and I think for Phoenix.
We both like the Suns. Should be a great game Tuesday night at 10 o'clock on Amazon Prime. Let's go over to Wednesday. Wednesday, we have 2 games. The 7-8 game in the East, the Orlando Magic and the Philadelphia 76ers. Philadelphia 76ers are favored by 1.5. JG, who wins this game? The Orlando Magic or the Philadelphia 76ers? I'm dying to hear your answer on this game. I want to know. I'm very intrigued by this game. Very intrigued.
I've seen this matchup. I swear to God, I thought of you too, man. Like, I got to go with the Philadelphia 76ers, man.
Oh, really? I can't believe it.
I think that they are. Paul George is coming back. He's looked pretty decent. Tyrese Maxey's been good all year. BJ Edgecombe, I really like. He's been very good this season. A rookie we haven't talked a lot about, but obviously you're playing with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey and Paul George. You probably don't get a ton of shots, but he's fulfilled his role on both ends, I think, very well. And me and you both are both very down the Orlando Magic this year. We thought that they were going to be one of the teams that were going to be squarely in the top 6. We thought Paolo Banchero and this team would take a jump. They've done quite the opposite. I think the inconsistency continues with Orlando, and I think Philly takes this one at home.
I agree. The Orlando Magic have been such a disappointing team. They've been the most disappointing team all NBA season, and they lost that last game against Boston when they was playing their B team, but they wasn't playing nobody, and they lost that game. Franz Wagner, arguably the best player on the Magic or the second best player. He has a leg injury. His leg was wrapped at the end of that game. I have no faith in the Magic. It sucks for Philly. Philly could have been that 6th seed if my man Joel Embiid didn't get hurt. My man got the worst luck. He got the worst injury luck ever. Like to the point, like you don't even feel comfortable with him walking down the steps. He might get hurt just walking down the steps. Like seriously. So for me, I thought Philly could be. They would have been I'm not saying a contender to win a championship, no. But I felt like they could have gave Detroit, Cleveland, those top 4 seeds, maybe other than Boston, Detroit, Cleveland, New York. They would have gave them a series. So sucks for that. But I have no faith in the Magic. Give me the Philadelphia 76ers. And the last. Go ahead.
I'm the one that said Joel Embiid should retire because of all these injuries, and I wasn't joking. I wasn't trying to be, insensitive or anything like that. I genuinely worried about this man's like genuine health because it's literally one thing after another. It's like, and he tries. Like, it's not like Joel Embiid doesn't try to do the best he can to take care of his body. It's just that he's had really bad luck, and for me, it was to the point where like these are so catastrophic and so degenerative as far as injuries. I was like, dude, he should retire while he can still walk straight. That's how serious it was.
Yeah, no, definitely. I thought it was a little strong at first, but obviously now, like, everything is on the board. It should be on the board for Joel Embiid's NBA career. The last play-in game, the last of the 4 play-in games that we know. Again, there'll be 2 play-in games on Friday night. Those times are 7:30 and 10 o'clock on Amazon Prime as well. The last play-in game is the 9-10 play-in elimination game between the Golden State Warriors and the Los Angeles Clippers. The game is 10 o'clock Wednesday night on Amazon Prime. I'll start us off with this one. I'm taking the Clippers. The Warriors reign this Steph Curry iteration of what this team was. The Warriors are done. They lost Jimmy Butler. They traded for Kristaps Porzingis, who you don't know if he's gonna play when you get to the arena just because of things that he's been going through, illnesses and injuries for the past couple seasons. So for me, I think the best player on the court is Kawhi Leonard in this game. I think the Clippers have a better overall team. Give me the Los Angeles Clippers to beat the Golden State Warriors.
The Clippers put the Warriors out of their misery. They've been a wounded animal limping their way through the season all year long. As you said, no Jimmy Butler obviously was a huge knockout punch, but then losing Steph Curry for all those games as well. Even though he's back, Curry's going to put on a show. He's going to fight, but this team is just so depleted and so like bereft of talent right now. If I'm being totally honest, that they're not going to be able to take on the Clippers, especially on the road. Would it totally shock me if Curry went thermonuclear and they somehow pulled out a win? No, it's Stephen Curry. You know, that can happen. I don't care how old he is. He still can shoot the ball better than anybody who ever picked up a basketball. So the possibility is there. I just think that this is too tall of a task for him. This team this season has been a wash. Steve Kerr is facing a little bit of heat right now. Is it fair or foul? You know, that's another question for another day. But yeah, you can't help but question the future of this Warriors team. Like, is Steph Curry era coming to an end? Do you consider moving Curry on to a better team to go for one more championship? Or, and I don't know anything, I'm just saying, or is there a guy in Milwaukee that could potentially get moved to Golden State to help Curry win just one more?
That's the move. That's the move. Golden State, I don't think ever wants to get rid of Steph Curry. So they're going to always put pieces around him. They feel, as long as they feel like he's in his prime or close to his prime to be in championship contention. So
or long shot, is there a guy in Los Angeles that might want to come there?
Maybe. Yeah, but I think we better off trying to get Giannis, because LeBron, you put LeBron on the Warriors, they cool. They're not moving nothing. They're not better than the Thunder, they're not better than the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Spurs. Are they better than the Rockets? Are they better than the Timberwolves? Teams like that. So for me, I think Giannis would be the move. But again, you have Steph Curry. You should put all your chips in the middle of the table. You want to maximize how much time he has left. So but we both agree. We both like the Clippers. Should be a great NBA play-in tournament. Again, you have coverage on Amazon Prime Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Friday night. The games start at 7:30. And the second game starts at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you guys for watching the best sports show out. We appreciate you for locking in and tuning in to Highly Opinionated. For the best producer, the best editor, the best guy on the show, Ross. My guy, the best co-host in the game, my guy, JG. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe. The Club JG podcast. My brother's doing great things over there. I'm Merely Josh. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you guys next week for episode 80. We are